Time for Mac Geek Gab, and listener Ben brings us our quick tip of the week. He says, I just discovered an advancement to screenshots in macOS 26. When you press Command-Shift-5, you can now do a screen recording of a specific window. Previously, the recording choices were only whole screen or selected area. You could do screen grabs, still pictures of specific windows, and now in macOS 26, you can do full recordings of specific windows. More tips like this, plus your questions answered today on Mac Geek Gab 1122 for Monday, December 29th, Still Need to Do Day 2025. Woohoo! Greetings, folks, and welcome to Mac Geek Gab, the show where we take some tips like that from you or from us and share them. We take some cool stuff found, also from you or from us, and share them. And we take some questions from you or from us and share them, hopefully with answers or at least with guidance down the troubleshooting path such that we can each learn at least 5 new things every single time we get together. Our sponsors for this episode include gusto.com/MGG, where you can go to get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. And also try.copilot.money/MacGeekGab. Don't worry, the link's in the show notes if you like. That's where you can go to get 26% off this fantastic money management app for your Mac, your iPhone, your iPad. It's cross-platform, or cross-device, I should say. Very Apple-centric. And you can also get 2 months free with code MacGeekGab. We'll talk more about both of those in a little bit. For now, for the last time this year, for this show anyway, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And here in New Hampshire as well is Pilot Pete for the last time on this show this year as well. Very cool.
Yep. Confusing to say.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
But we meant what we knew, yeah. So I hope you had a good Festivus, Dave, and a good Christmas by the time this comes out.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. We're recording this on Christmas Eve if it actually makes it out. This is take 2, so we'll see how we do.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Good. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, and then next week after this comes out, Pete, you and I are off to CES to sift through the noise and find the fun stuff. I am now starting to get a lot of information from companies about CES very late this year, all coming in much later than in the past.
It wasn't just me. I felt like,
But there's some exciting things coming. So I'm eager to get out there and learn about some of this stuff and then share it all with you. And we couldn't do it without our CES sponsors. That's BusyCal with a code MacGeek10 to save you 10%. Eero, our friends at Eero, of course. Ecamm. MacPaw, and CCC Backup. So we'll talk more about those. There'll be lots to say about them during the CES week and beyond. But thanks to all of them for making it even remotely possible for us to be able to do what we do each and every time we go out there. So fun stuff.
Yeah.
And let's see what else is. Oh, the giveaway.
The giveaway.
Yes. MacGeekGab.com/giveaway. Go register to win your copy of OpenIn, one of our favorite apps. And just a great. I love apps like OpenIn to let me, when I click a link, if I click a Zoom link, I don't want to go to my browser. I just want it to open in Zoom, and it can do things like that. So go register to win it.
You can pick which browser. You can click on a photo, and it'll go. You can set it to open photos. In various applications.
Right, that's true.
It's not just a browser chooser.
That's true. So, very good point.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right. Looks like from that opening tip that apps like Capto are starting to get Sherlocked. That's...
for sure. Yeah, Apple's... The screenshot functionality in macOS has been leveling up quite a bit, which I think is a good thing. Yeah. I mean, it's something I use all the time. So it's nice to see Apple kind of embracing that, adding more options.
Well, I've got a quick tip that I didn't even know I needed, Dave. This one does indeed come from me. Someone came over to my house this week to help me troubleshoot some Wi-Fi. And by the way, my Wi-Fi has just been rock solid ever since. Although I still do want to move my my base Eero, as it were, towards the middle of the home so that I have.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's
more solid.
We got together this week, and Lisa asked me when I got home, she's like, were you able to fix it? I'm like, we just couldn't get the problem to show up. And she's like, okay, so the magic hands fixed it? And that's what she calls it. Sometimes Lisa just asks me, she's like, can you come stand near my computer?
I try to get my work done, right?
Yeah. She's like, it's just not working, and I know if you stand there, it's going to be fine. And more often than not, that's actually kind of how it works out. So, yeah. Whatever. Yep.
I feel your pain, Lisa.
Well, I'm glad your Wi-Fi's working. That's not painful. That's great.
So am I,
we got to hang for a couple hours watching pings dry. You know, it was not. We started some ping tests to find some dropouts in Pete's network, and never saw
later,
a
not a one.
drop. Yeah, I was like, all right, well, we drank all Pete's beer, and it's time to go. Yep.
Yep, exactly. Once I was out of beer, he left.
That's it, pretty much.
So, but one of the first things that Dave did is he ran a terminal command. And I'm like, wait, whoa, what's that? He ran brew upgrade terminal. And I had 65 packages that, one, I had no idea needed updating, and two, that they would update so effortlessly if, in fact, you ran brew upgrade. I think there's a brew update as well, but brew upgrade updated my homebrew packages that I'd already installed, downloading the newer versions and dependencies, installed them, and cleaned up all the old versions afterwards. And So there is no. I have not automated updating homebrew on any of my Macs. I'm sure, of course, there's a way you could just script that. But I do have. There's an app. We've talked about it on the show called Topgrade, and you install it. It's at the command line. You install it by brew install Topgrade, and then what Topgrade does is it updates not just homebrew but all of your like Ruby stuff and anything else that you've got, all your Node stuff, anything that you've got, it'll see it, like terminal based anything you've got. Let me be clear about that. Okay.
And just update it. So I just run Topgrade on my Macs when I think about it, and it goes and does everything. And it complains about some things that I don't quite have installed right, and that's okay. It's like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But it checks for system updates too, which is kind of nice. So yeah, but at the very least, brew upgrade would be the command to run. And I just wanted to do it before I did like speed tests from your command line and things like that.
Sure.
So.
That was the other thing I didn't realize I had CLI. Speed test CLI. Boom, done.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep. So that's brew install speed test -CLI. This is a little bit weird because you install speed test -CLI, and then to run it, you just type speed test. You don't type speed test -CLI. So.
Oh, okay. It actually worked when I typed speed test -CLI, by the way.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe it just creates an alias. That makes sense. Yeah. Speed test -CLI. Yeah, sure enough. It works. Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, good to know.
Very cool. I didn't realize you could do.
Yeah.
That isn't quite right. I realized you could do a speed test from the terminal. You could do pretty much anything that the computer can do from the terminal. You just need to know what to type.
You need to know what to type. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
None of that GUI for me. So
right. Yeah. I will say though, and I haven't dug into this enough to know exactly why, but speed test when run in the browser or in your like from the actual Mac like GUI app tests better, more comprehensively than speed test from the terminal. When you test from the terminal, I always get slower speeds from the terminal than I do from the GUI app. And I think it might be my theory is that the GUI app and the web interface do multi-stream tests where they send and receive like multiple things at once to really soak up your connection, whereas that from the terminal it's just one stream down and then one stream up. That's my theory.
Okay,
I could be wrong about this, but
because that was kind of counterintuitive to me that it would be slower in the terminal.
I mean, you think everything, there's less overhead for anything to.
Yeah, no, it's not about the overhead. It's I think it's just opening up multiple connections in each direction from in the apps and the browser, but not from the terminal. Now, there might be a switch to type from the terminal to have it do it that way, and maybe that would be a good thing to learn. Feedback at macgeekgab.com. If you know more about this, let us know. Or if you have a question or a tip to share, that's where we like to hear it.
You heard him. Feedback at macgeekgab.com. And we're not going to say it a third time because Adam isn't with us this week, as you may have noticed already. So
no, we will not say feedback at macgeekgab.com a third time.
Good.
That's good. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I just can't help myself sometimes. Michael has a quick tip for us from based on last week's episode where we were talking about the notch on our screens and wanting to at least temporarily bypass the notch on our laptop screens to get our menu bars laid out the way we want before dealing with the notch. And Michael says, I wanted to make sure that you know that some resolutions in system displays preferences are not the same aspect ratio as the MacBook screen. Therefore, the ones that are more wide than tall are not going to use the top and bottom of the display and thus are not requiring to present a notch at the top. The trade-off for using one of these resolutions to see a full menu bar is that you're not using all of the real estate provided by the display. But that is one way of getting around that. There is another way, and listener Antony wrote in with this as essentially a cool stuff found, and it is called Say No To Notch. He says, I don't like having the notch, and because I always have icons hidden there. And he says, I use this little app, and it's free, but it's donationware. So if you want to send him a few bucks, you can. And we'll link to that in the show notes. But yeah, Say No To Notch will let you disable your MacBook's notch or turn it back on. Like it's not a permanent solution, but it lets you control the notch. So yeah, that's linked in the show notes for you. So handy to be able to turn that off and mess with things or leave it off if that's your That's your desire.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, fun.
Well, we also had our fair share of don't get caughts this week as well, to include yet another one of my own. But this one wasn't my own. This one comes from Andrew, who said, while I was in Sydney yesterday, I stopped by the Apple store for a Genius Bar appointment to sort out a strange AirPods Pro 2 issue. I initially suspected that iOS 26 was the problem since the problem started recently. And a week earlier, I had already spent an hour with Apple support trying everything remotely before being told, just bring them in. The issue turned out not to be the speakers, but the microphones. In Apple Voice memos on my iPhone 17 and iPad Pro, the recordings were extremely muffled. Yet on Instagram, the mic quality was studio clean. On my MacBook and Mac Mini using voice memos, also perfect. The other Apple headphones work flawlessly everywhere. Even more odd, Hey S Lady didn't work at all on the AirPods Pro 2. To add to the confusion, Apple had just released new AirPods firmware that morning, but updating didn't help. At the Genius store, he tested a new pair of AirPods Pro 2 and confirmed that they worked normally. He then pulled up my devices on his iPad and selected my AirPods and immediately saw both microphones flagged red as failed. He replaced both the earbuds on the spot, gave them to me. He kept his same AirPods case, and everything, including the S Lady, now work perfectly. Annoying problem, but a very satisfying ending. So that is an interesting set of symptoms. I
have questions.
Yeah, right?
Why would it, I know there are multiple microphones in the AirPods. They're used for many things, the noise cancellation, but also the directionality of things, right? And all that stuff. Why would the audio from the microphones be perfectly clean in some apps and not in the others? I guess if based on the use case, it's choosing which mics to use and maybe, but weird that mics in both AirPods would have gone bad. Like I would have believed it if it was one, but
Right.
I don't know. All right. Well, sure. I'll take it.
I guess, certain in the Fuller email, there was things about, these microphones are obviously very tightly integrated. Those are tiny.
Yeah. Oh,
and so
yeah. It's all.
I guess some of the apps only use some of the microphones, and
right. Yeah. That's interesting.
Bigger brains than mine to figure out.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Interesting. Good to know, though. Like. Yeah. Good to know. Good to know. I wonder if I've never put. I don't know. Can you put AppleCare on AirPods?
I think, doesn't that come under? Yeah, of course you can.
Right.
Comes even under Apple One, I think.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, AirPods, they're finicky little things. When they go belly up, there's usually no fix. I mean, they're not, you can't take them apart easily and let me put it this way. You can't get them back together easily after taking them apart.
How would you know this, Dave? Asking for a friend.
No problem. They come apart as easily as you want them to, depending on the tool you choose. Yeah.
But,
all right.
But,
cool.
but they're they're a lot more waterproof and durable than one might think. Mm-hmm. I actually got in the shower the other day listening to a podcast and completely didn't realize that, I was just going about my life and the water actually knocked one of them out of my ear down to the shower floor. And I went, oh, not supposed to have those on in here. Picked it up, threw it on the bathroom counter, dried it off. 5 minutes later, put them back in, and they worked fine. Not an issue since. So, yeah.
Don't worry, that won't be the episode image, folks.
No guts, no glory, Dave.
Oh, man. All right. We're already doing take two. We had a malfunction, just a derailment.
See how fat my fingers are. Yeah.
In the first take of this. Yeah. And I told Pete that I don't think there has ever, I can't remember a successful take two of this show. There've been hundreds, if thousands, of successful take ones of this show. There have been no successful take ones of this episode, but nor
will there be ever.
Right. It seemed like take two always was cursed, and so it take threes, and a lot of this goes back to the days when John and I were doing it, because we didn't have quite the backups in place and things like that. So our setup wasn't as robust as it is now. But yeah,
in fact, the best show you ever did, you forgot to record, right? I mean,
that's always how it goes. Oh yeah,
story.
Love that. That's right. Yep. I won't tell the story. It doesn't matter. Sure I will. Like now, you can't tease a story and not tell it.
Right.
It's not this show. I was doing another show, and we got I had a guest on. We were maybe 10 minutes in, and the guest was like, "Wait, my hat doesn't look right. We need to start over." And I was like, "It's mostly an audio show. It's going to be okay." Like, yeah, but you're going to use the video for clips and stuff. I was like, well, sure. Like, yeah, we better start over. Like, fascinating. Okay, sure, let's do it. That's fine. Like, everybody has their shtick. Like, it's just something I'd never seen before and certainly didn't expect. But it was like, yeah, all right, take two. Here we go. That take two worked, but different show. So,
there you go.
All right. So, Chris reminds us, he says, you talk a lot about Tailscale. And I wanted to let you know, a reminder not to get caught, because devices expire in Tailscale after a certain period of time unless you specifically go into the Tailscale admin interface and turn that feature off. And this is correct. And this is something that, especially for your Mac, for your iPhone, not a big deal. For your NAS, right, where you're not logging into the Tailscale interface, you're not seeing that all the time, it can just expire, and it's an authentication thing that expires, and it's for security, right, so that you don't have some rogue device that left your network but is still part of your tailnet because you never turn that off. And you can see all of those, and you can manually turn things off in the Tailscale admin interface, which you can get to from the app menu on your Mac or just by going to
Tailscale settings, accounts, and then admin console.
Love it. So, but just be aware that your Tailscale devices can expire. And I've had that happen where it's like, wait, why can't I log into my home network? And it's like, oh, because my disk station's Tailscale authentication expired. And guess where you have to be to turn that back on? You've got to be able to log into your disk station, which I use Tailscale to do when I'm remote. So it was chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so good.
No Tailscale for you that
No
day,
take two on that one. That's right.
Yeah. So, interestingly, I guess it's for security, but I don't see the point. I just don't.
Well, I think it's I think it's just generally a good practice that something once logged in and left unattended doesn't just stay logged in for years, right? Like I think that's where this comes from. Yeah. I
Fair
guess.
enough. But I disabled the expiration on every one of my Tailnet devices.
Same. Yeah, and for those of us that are using it for home or even light
there
small
you go.
business
We forget
use.
that people are using it on an enterprise level.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah, right. So yeah, just go in and turn those off and it'll save you some headaches. So, yep.
It will indeed. All right. Speaking of headaches, Tom wrote in about his VPN connecting headache. Well, still connected. His VPN was connected. That was the problem. He says, after upgrading to iOS 26, I found that some of my apps were having a hard time connecting to servers on the internet. This included Apple Music app and the Apple's Game app, along with a couple of third-party apps. All of my other apps work fine, including the Apple Podcasts app. Well, that's all you need, Tom. So as long as you can listen to us, you're good.
That's right.
So, yeah. Puzzled, I initiated a chat with Apple support, and after about 45 minutes of turning the phone off and on in 2 or 3 different ways to reset it, my issue was kicked up to a senior Apple support technician. The technician immediately asked me if my VPN was turned on. This was, of course, one of the first things that I checked when I noticed the issue and the switches were off. She then told me sometimes the VPN will stay connected even though the settings indicate that it's not supposed to be. She asked me to delete the VPN from my phone by going to Settings, General, and then VPN and Device Management. Sure enough, after deleting the VPN, the connection issues disappeared. Bottom line, you may think your VPN is turned off, but the status may not be what you think it is. Deleting the VPN may help with issues that you are having connecting to the internet. Tom in Chicago.
I have seen this. We've talked about this on the show. I think in Tom's case, the VPN was not connected. And this is based on things that I've seen. I think had Tom connected the VPN, these problems would have gone away because
Kill switch.
Yes, a lot of VPNs have kill switch, which is I'm not going to let you on the internet if the VPN's not on, because you're not being protected by the VPN. You're out in the clear. And that kill switch thing, even when I've turned it off specifically in the VPN provider app, it still sometimes just gets into the network stack and stays there. And that's why deleting the VPN from your phone, it pulls all of that stuff out, all those profiles and everything. So my guess is that it wasn't that the VPN was on, it's that the kill switch or something else that the VPN does to get its fingers into the network stack. But I've never had this problem with Tailscale, and Tailscale doesn't have a kill switch. So I don't think it's, I think it is the kill switch thing. I think you're totally right, Pete. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dave, I found myself, so we moved into this house about 18, 19 months ago now, and bought a new TV for the living room when we did, because the one that we were going to put there was in many pieces. And turns out those don't go back together easily either when, large flat screen TVs.
TVs and AirPods? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't glue the screen back together and hope that it works.
That sucks.
Anyway, I found myself longing for the days of the luxurious sounds that emanated from a handheld transistor AM pocket radio, because the speakers that they put in TVs are much worse than one of those radios. So I was wandering around Best Buy, and I found an open box Vizio soundbar and sub, and was like, this is great. Brought it home, hooked it up, and within a couple weeks, noticed every now and then the sound would cut out completely. It would kind of go stupid, and then it would come back. And I'd lose 8 or 10 seconds of a show. Sometimes I'd rewind it, sometimes not, depending. But it became more and more frequent. And I checked with ChatGPT. Oh, it's a handshake issue. Try this, try that. Try a new cable. And so I tried everything, but I didn't try the new cable because, the cable's new. It came with the Vizio soundbar. Brand new HDMI cable. And, and by the way, so it wasn't a Toslink light cable. Thank you, optical. Yep. You'd think with my eye problems I could remember the optical word this morning, but I couldn't. We delayed recording today for my eyes. Anyway, back to the cable. Don't have a Toslink optical cable on this particular soundbar, so I was forced to use the HDMI ARC audio return channel for the number 2 HDMI on this TV to send the sound out to the bar.
That's a better way to do it. It's the only way to get Atmos sound out of a TV. You can't do that over Toslink. But anyway. Yeah.
So the long and short of it is it was getting worse and worse and worse. And it got to the point a couple times where I had to unplug the sound bar completely and the TV and then turn everything back on, and I would get my sound back. And it got to the point where it wouldn't even do that. I'm like, all right, either the TV or the sound bar or both are going into the trash. I'm done with this mess. And I went, it did say try a new HDMI cable. So my son was kind enough to pull one up from upstairs, plug that in, no sound whatsoever. I'm like, damn it. I got one more.
That's a good sign, though, because that tells you that maybe the cable matters, right?
Yeah. Well, and so then I went and got a brand new cable that I had still in its shrink wrap package, pulled that out, plugged it in, bang, zoom, boom, worked great. Haven't had a dropout in 6 weeks now. So, Cluebird strike, the new cable was an open box item.
Okay.
So that's why that should have told me right there. Try everything. There could be a reason this thing got brought back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But something as simple as the HDMI cable, the cable can't be bad. It's transmitting sound 99.8% of the time. It's the 0.02% of the time.
It's digital, though. It's not an analog signal that's happening. And with HDMI, there's
it's even more hinky.
There's DRM. There's a negotiation that happens to make sure that there's nothing in the middle that's going to copy the audio or the video data, right? That's coming out of the
HDCP, is it?
Yeah, right. So that HDCP negotiation it is finicky and requires the cable to be sound. Like in good shape. It's saying sound was the wrong word, wrong use of that word. Wrong word to use. But the other thing is, and this may or may not be related to what you went through. I'm trying to, off the top of my head, I don't think it is, but different HDMI cables have different speed ratings. Yeah. And some of them can do not 4K. Some of them can do 4K, but not 8K, right? So, and I think, oh man, it's been a long time since I bought an HDMI cable, but anytime I buy them, I just buy the highest standard number that I can, because I know that even if I don't need it for the current thing, I'm going to wind up using this cable with the next thing. Yep. And I think it's HDMI 2 are the cables that we have now. I should have researched before we did the show, but I didn't. So
that sounds right. Yeah.
So, trying different cables, it can make a difference for sure. Yeah.
It's so frustrating that it would.
I know.
Because the cable worked.
Right.
It didn't, but it worked. But it didn't.
Right. Yeah, HDMI, man, it's finicky. There's nothing else to say about it other than that. Yeah. All right, so that gets through quick tips and don't get caughts for this week, I think. We might have more of those. We definitely have some questions. We have a review. And the next thing that I want to do is I want to tell you about our two sponsors for today. And you know the story. Back in July, listener Corey sent us Copilot Money, this app, as a cool stuff found. And I've had my eye on it ever since. I've been using the same finance tracker for years, and let's just say it's time for an upgrade, right? Copilot Money, our sponsor, is a beautifully designed, privacy-first app that finally brings clarity to finances across every device. Works on your Mac, your iPhone, your iPad, and now even the web.
It connects all your accounts, it tracks your spending, your subscriptions, and even helps you set flexible savings goals with progress tracking that actually can help keep you motivated. And the AI-powered transaction categorization, it's not just smart, it's super accurate. Whether you're making a budget for the first time or just tired of your old clunky tools, Copilot Money is the modern way to get calm, confident, and fully in control of your money. Don't get caught guessing where your money went. Go find out. And right now, for a limited time, you get 26% off your first year when you sign up at try.copilot.money/MacGeekGab. The link will be in the show notes. You don't need to worry about it. And then you get 2 months free with code MacGeekGab. So 26% off with the link, 2 months free with the code MacGeekGab. Start the new year with clarity, your money beautifully organized, now across every device. Try it. I think you're going to like it. I'm going to try it too. And our thanks to Copilot Money for sponsoring this episode. And speaking about money, you're running a small business, right? You already know how easy it is to get buried under forms, filings, and HR minutia. I've been there, of course. Those late nights wondering if I've missed some critical payroll deadline or something that's not right. And that's why I'm stoked to tell you about our sponsor, Gusto. Gusto is online payroll and benefits software built for small businesses. It's all-in-one, remote-friendly, and crazy easy to use. So you can pay, hire, onboard, and support your team from anywhere, right? From automatic tax filings to onboarding tools and direct deposits, Gusto does all the heavy lifting so you don't get caught wasting time you could spend growing your business. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/MGG and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/MGG. It's the #1 payroll software according to G2 for fall of 2025, trusted by over 400,000 small businesses. One more time, visit gusto.com/MGG. And our thanks to Gusto for sponsoring this episode.
All right.
All right.
Well,
we had a review come in.
We've got a review or two, Dave.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We got a nice review from Bob Cleaver. He writes in, "Thank you guys for the always excellent info you provide. The format works well and allows for a fast range of topics and info. The recent episode's tip on Spotlight freezing my Mac allowed me to get the fix I needed."
Woohoo!
And that was a 5-star rating. We're grateful for that. If you can't give us a 5-star rating, if you got to give a 3-star rating, go to another show, give it to them, come back and tell us what we did wrong, and we'll fix it. But don't ruin our 5 stars.
So we really appreciate those reviews. They do make, they help immensely. It makes a huge difference for a lot of reasons. I know we've talked about them, so I'll spare you. But yeah, good stuff. All right, now on to so thank you, Bob. Yes, on to questions. Greg has one for us, Pete. He says, I have a question about traveling internationally and not getting charged for a day pass for data. I called AT&T, my provider, but they have different answers for every person I talk with, so it's really unclear. I will be traveling in Taiwan for a month, and I will buy a local eSIM over there, which will even come with a phone number. But I need to keep my AT&T phone number registered with iMessage so I can get iMessages and calls on Wi-Fi when Wi-Fi calling, which is enabled. I don't want to turn off that line, and I do need to receive SMS codes sometimes, but I won't be sending any SMS messages. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess what I should do is change cellular data to the eSIM and then turn off cellular data switching so that it doesn't ever go back to AT&T. Also, I'll turn off roaming for that line. Is that enough to not trigger getting charged for a day pass with AT&T? You want to start with this one, Pete? Yeah,
he's mostly got it right. The one thing that I would offer is, and I think I just looked at it, it's eSIMDB.com.
eSIMDB, yeah.
eSIMDeltaBravo.com. Yep. You want to get that SIM card before you go. So when you travel internationally, you avoid that day pass. The key is making sure that AT&T line never touches cellular data or cellular voice while you're abroad. Although you'll get an incoming, and that's okay. That won't hurt it. But and this is the clean way to do it. Before you leave, install the eSIM for Taiwan, and eSIMDB.com will get you the SIMs. You can go and choose a SIM plan that works for you and install it because it's eSIM. You install it right now on your phone.
Just be aware, some eSIMs, when you install them, are activated right away. So if you get a 30-day eSIM, your 30 days starts counting right away. Some you can install and wait to activate. So just be aware of what you're doing. But
very good point.
Look, it's usually pretty clear so long as you know to look for it when you're buying your eSIM. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Excellent safety tip there, so to speak. So, and then turn off your cellular data switching so the phone can't fall back to AT&T while you're over there. So on your AT&T line, leave the line itself turned on, but turn data roaming off, and that's critical. You also want to turn Wi-Fi calling enabled on the AT&T line. So if you're in a hotel room or at a cafe or whatever and you're on Wi-Fi, you can still use that line in that sense, and you won't get the international day pass hit. So, and before departure, log in your AT&T account and explicitly turn international day pass off. I wouldn't rely on someone over the phone telling you, yeah, you're good to go. It's off. Don't worry about it. Unless you want to pay at the other end. So once you're in Taiwan, all that data flows over the local eSIM. iMessages and calls on your AT&T number work over Wi-Fi calling, and receiving SMS codes is fine. It doesn't trigger your day pass. So you just want to place and answer cellular calls on the AT&T line when you're using Wi-Fi calling. Otherwise, use your Taiwan eSIM. And if you follow that setup, you keep your number alive. I seem to recall there was another issue I had when I was using a European one that when I would send a text to somebody, they'd be like, yeah, who the heck is this? It's like, oh, yeah. So
make sure to choose the line that you're sending the text from.
Yes. I have found, and I think all of this advice needs to be couched with saying every carrier is different and handles things a little differently. But I have experienced it where, and this was, I had Mint Mobile at the time, on an eSIM in Europe. Everything was turned off as we said here, no data roaming on my Mint line. So, and I would get and could send SMS messages either on Wi-Fi or when I was connected to data for my eSIM, because it basically treated the eSIM's data like it did Wi-Fi calling, and routed my Mint SMS over that data signal, and that worked fine. Once I kind of figured that out, it was like, oh, this is great, and it just kind of worked. So, yeah. But I think your point, Pete, I think the two most important things are turn off data roaming on your AT&T line, because that way it will not grab, that signal that's not native.
And charge you through the nose.
And then also make sure international day pass is turned off as well. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that's good.
So, was in the BJ's the other day, which is similar to Costco and Sam's and all that. Got it again. Hey, sir, how you doing? Can I interest you in a what cell carrier do you have? Mint Mobile. Have a Merry Christmas, sir.
Yeah, that's it.
Conversation over. He's like, yeah, I can't.
Yep. I don't understand why I mean, they have figured it out. Like Verizon has Visible, like they have their prepaid plans, but the prepaid plans are the way to go to save a bunch of money. So,
Yep. And they even let you break it up quarterly now. You used to get the annual pass.
Yeah.
And Mint Mobile lets you pay your annual pass quarterly.
But you're still on the hook for the whole year?
I assume so. I don't know.
Well, because you can pay quarterly, but you pay a little more.
You pay a higher price. Yeah.
Right.
But now, they just, at some point back a year or more ago, they said, hey, you can pay it 90 days at a time and get the annual price. I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, sure. So. Huh? I didn't realize that. I'll have to look at that next time things come around.
Yeah. And then I think I mentioned they doubled the tethering from 10 to 20 gigs.
Yep.
For the unlimited plan.
For unlimited, yeah. I have found that not every MVNO's data is equal. And I recently switched my fiber connection here at the house I was on Fidium and switched to Breezeline. And the reason I switched is because Breezeline had this Black Friday deal that got me symmetrical gigabit fiber service to the house for $40 a month, plus a $300 gift card, plus a price lock on that $40 a month for 5 years. I'm not committed to anything. They are. And 1 year free of an unlimited Breezeline mobile line. Now, we're all on annual contracts with Mint, so it was like, well, there's nothing to do with this mobile line. So I put it on my phone. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'll make that my primary data plan. Why? I mean, why not? Like, I got it. It's like, if something's weird about it, like, it's like, you get whatever. They have some limit. If you use more than 25 gigs or 20 gigs or whatever it is, you get, you might get throttled, like they all say, right, on unlimited plans. Okay, great. No problem. And so I made that my thing. And it's an AT&T MVNO, which means they use AT&T's towers and they piggyback on those. And that's where their data comes from. And man, I had a week's worth of headaches. I was like driving around and it was like, oh, you're using offline maps now. And I couldn't load a web page. And it was just, and it eventually would come in. It was slow and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, I know AT&T customers aren't dealing with this. And then I would switch back to Mint and it would be fine. It would be totally normal.
Rock solid.
And rock solid. Yeah. And now Mint uses T-Mobile's towers, so different towers, but not really. Not in densely populated areas.
Probably right? Different antenna, same tower.
But. Exactly. Right. Exactly. And I was with somebody with AT&T at one point and asked them, are you having trouble connecting? They're like, no, that's obviously not. Like, look where we are. It's totally fine. I'm like, yeah, okay. So at least in my single person anecdotal experience, it sure seemed like an AT&T customer on AT&T towers had a better experience than a Breezeline customer on AT&T towers. So not every MVNO is created equal. I will say, though, that having been a Mint customer now for over 5 years, I have had none of that experience with Mint Mobile. So bear that in mind. Yeah. Yeah.
Here ends the Mint Mobile commercial.
I know. Yeah, it wasn't meant to be. No, it's more just to test it out. Like when, if I were going to switch to this Breezeline thing, I would not have it would be, I probably would have called support and asked them what's going on and yelled at them for a little while. I don't have time for that right now. So it's like, well, I'll just switch back to Mint because I'm already paying for that anyway. So it's fine. But like when my daughter comes home from Europe this summer, she'll be here for like 3 months. It'd be great to give her this Breezeline thing. So sometime between now and then, I'll look into this and figure out why it sucks and if there's a way to fix it. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see. Robert wrote in with a question about managing photos on vacation. He says, I own a full arsenal of Apple products as well as a mirrorless camera. And when I go on holiday, I always have issues with photo syncing. I take photos on my iPhone and proper camera, but then sometimes in downtime towards the evening, I want to edit them. I do this on my iPad, but normally the Wi-Fi signal isn't good enough to manage any kind of photo syncing. I normally airdrop the photos I want to edit across to my iPad, but this causes duplicates when they do eventually sync. I decided this time to switch iCloud syncing off on my phone. Then, at the end of the day, I created a few shortcuts, one of which sends all the photos via airdrop to my iPad, as well as backs them up on my iPhone in case of any syncing issues later on. I then import all my photos from my camera to my iPad. This then backs up as well as to a USB stick, so if I lose my iPad, I haven't lost the full holiday vacation library. I maintain the full library on my iPad, and at the end of the holiday, turn syncing back on. Hopefully this will work as I'm writing this whilst away. Not sure if there will be any problems when I come to sync everything back together. This is the first time I've tried it. Does anyone have any other methods for accomplishing this? Thanks. Big fan and listen every week. Bob in the UK.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. This all makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It would be great to have all your devices sync, but it's not just syncing locally. With your, iCloud Photos uses the cloud to, if he took the pictures with his phone, for example, it would push them up from his phone to the cloud and then down from the cloud with his iPad, and then he would be able to edit. But when the Wi-Fi is challenged, then that's not going to work in a timely fashion. So I like the idea of turning off syncing. I'm curious what's going to happen when you turn syncing back on. And I realize that's his curiosity too, because he turned it off to avoid duplicates, but isn't that what's going to happen when you turn syncing back on just en masse? And I will be very eager to hear the answer. I mean, in theory, it should suss out that these pictures are duplicates of one another and not sync them. But
right, yeah,
and maybe that'll happen. But that would be the concern. And you could find duplicates with photos, and it would probably find all of these. You could certainly limit it to a date range, which when you were away, so that's kind of easy to sort out those dates. I like this plan though. I don't think nothing comes to mind that is better. But I like. This is clever to airdrop and sync all this stuff. Like, yeah, why not? What else would you do? I mean, I guess you could use your Mac in the middle. That would be one way, right? Sync directly by plugging into your Mac and doing it that way. But that creates kind of a thing.
I would think the editing on the Mac would be more robust than the iPad, but any more could be different.
I know a lot of people who prefer to edit photos on a touch screen.
Sure.
So
that I get. Absolutely.
The
other thing I would consider doing, but this doesn't really address his problem so much, but to use smart albums and either geolocate or date range.
Yeah.
And then, so when you do get duplicates, you're going to more easily recognize, but you would recognize them anyway. Those are the last 400 photos I put in are from the 2 weeks away. And I could be wrong. I would think as you're going through them, those that are duplicates are going to be right next to each other, but maybe not.
Oh, they should be.
Assuming you sort by date or name, then
yeah, for sure.
Easy to thump them out there.
Yep. But or photos on your Mac will find duplicates in the utilities folder there. So
that's right. Yeah.
Right. That would be a way to accomplish this, is once you get back and turn on syncing, just make it give it a day so that everything can kind of do its sync and get finished with that. But then just look in that duplicates folder and see what you get, and suss through that. And it'll let you merge them pretty quick. It's pretty robust, at least from what I found. So, yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah,
so,
I don't have anything better.
Yeah, so this is weird. Now I'm going to take us down a quick tangent, but I opened Photos and typed in help duplicate in the word help, and it looks like it says collections Gemini duplicates. So it looks like Gemini, in playing with my thing, created a collection within Photos that shows duplicates.
Gemini also is good at finding duplicates, as we talked about, I think, on the last episode, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's coming up
soon, recently, somewhat recently. Yeah.
Somewhat recently, yeah. Yep. Well, I like that. That's a good one, Robert. And I like your solution. I'm curious to hear if anybody else has anything that a different way of doing it. Feedback at macgeekgab.com.
Well, that made it a fourth time when he said feedback at macgeekgab.com.
You're darn right it did. Shall we go to Todd here? Todd has a question. He says, I also have not, referring to our conversation last week, talking about which machines we have upgraded to Apple OS 26 and which we have not. He says, I also have not upgraded my Mac to Mac OS 26, nor have I upgraded my iPhone. He says, I believe you all have updated your phones to iOS 26. Mm-hmm. Have you seen anything funky about your phones on iOS 26 having your Mac 1 version behind?
Well, the only thing funky I've seen on my phone since upgrading to iOS 26 is liquid glass. But other than
yeah,
I'm sorry, that was a backhanded slap. But look, here, some people love it. Not a huge fan of it. So it's pretty. I'll give them that. It's pretty, but it's not as functional to me as it was prior. So that's a hit or miss with most people. It was kind of a miss with me, but everyone in my family as well is changed the contrast and reduced the transparency and all that in the settings to get iOS 26 to their liking. But more specifically to Todd's question, I haven't seen any issues with my Mac still being on Sequoia and my iOS being 26.
Yeah.
They still play nice together.
Okay, good. Yeah, I haven't seen an issue yet. As I mentioned last week, I have 26 on 2 of my Macs and 15 on the one up here in the studio still, and I don't see any issues with it. The one thing that I really would like to have that macOS 26 is supposed to bring is when you get an SMS verification code. It has always like when you're trying to log in. It offers to use it in Safari, right? Love that. macOS 26 was going to bring that to other browsers as well. I've probably seen it work twice. Otherwise, I just am typing in those codes when I'm in Chrome or Edge. Sometimes I'll have it offer me the code 10 minutes later when I'm trying to fill out a different form in Chrome. Have you seen that too? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's up with that? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know if there's an implementation issue that like Google needs to implement to make Chrome work better with this, or Microsoft, I don't know where that falls apart, but it worked for a little bit, like twice. And then now I don't even think about it. So, no, I haven't seen any issues being out of sync in a sense like that. Seems to work totally fine for my use case. Yeah. And I did try, after our conversation last week on my machine in the office, the M1, I turned reduced transparency on, Pete, and it made a huge difference on that computer. I also used iStat menus on that one, and I put up a GPU meter so I could see when the GPU was being used, and turning off reduced transparency reduced the amount of GPU being used. It absolutely, the computer, the experience is snappier. So I think Adam, I got to make sure Adam knows that he was absolutely onto something with that. So that helped on that computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Should we go to cool stuff found, Pete, or do you want to keep talking about questions here?
I could do either.
All right, let's do Joe's question, and then we'll do some cool stuff found. I think this is it's a fun little conversation to have.
Yeah, I think so. And of course,
did I?
No, that's okay. Well, I had it called up, and then it went away. So,
I got it. Joe writes.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. Joe writes, he says, my perception is that there must be way fewer calls to AppleCare and other tech support operations since the advent of AI and chatbots. I used to call AppleCare once every 2 to 4 months with problems that the internet couldn't solve. I don't remember the last time I've done it, certainly not within the last year. That must be allowing Apple and others to reduce their FTEs. I actually don't know what FTEs mean. Full-time employees. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, let's see what he means. Yeah. Full-time employees in their customer-facing tech support departments. AI plus YouTube, who needs tech support? We talked about this a little bit last week.
Pick me.
Yeah, exactly. So probably, yes. And even the implementation of a chatbot, like an Apple support specific chatbot or a site support specific chatbot, to at least triage those incoming queries can make a huge difference for two reasons. Number one, it might be able to get you the answer, right? Because those can be specifically trained on the company's knowledge base. I embrace those. When I get one of those now, it used to be that I hated it because they would, it was like, if you don't answer exactly right, it's just going to tell you, it's going to ask you the question over and over again. Now, if they're implementing these LLMs, it works great. Better. I don't want to say great, but certainly better. And it can often find the answer, and sometimes that's wonderful. If it can't, though, all of the questions that it has asked you, it summarizes for the support rep when that support rep comes on. And what's nice about that is that person didn't have to go through the frustrating process of asking you all of those simple, I use air quotes, simple questions. And it means they're fresh to the problem. They're not sick and tired of dealing with you yet. And I'm just saying, like, I'm just being, it's just being realistic, right? They are coming in fresh and are able to help you. And I really think that there's a benefit there for properly managed customer service departments. But that I think that there's a huge leg up that, it keeps the reps from having to answer the same question over and over again. Like, how do I change my password, right? Like, okay, well, I mean, you're here. I'm going to answer your question for you. But, we have a knowledge base article that should make that easy. And there's other sort of, site-specific things that the chatbots can really help with. And it keeps the FTEs, the customer support reps, from burning out. And so, yes, I think absolutely it's a good thing because they can really be focused on supporting the customers and not just hating customers, which is what often happens in customer support departments. So I think it is a good thing. Yes.
Well, and then there's people like Pete who go, look, the question is essentially, does AI make the tech support job easier? When properly used, absolutely.
Yes. Well, so I thought about this too, Pete.
Yeah.
We had that conversation last week about Gell-Mann amnesia, right? Where when AI gives us answers in a field we know about, we know to dismiss the crappy ones. But when it gives us answers in a field we don't know about, we just take all of them as like gospel, right? Yeah. And we're all, this is not a dig at Pete or anybody. I mean, I do the same thing. It's a dig at us as humans, right? Yeah. But after that conversation, I was thinking, and I was like, well, wait a minute. One of the other things we do with AI is we have it teach us things that we don't know. And so why not combine these two things? And I've tried this. So when I ask it about something to help me, solve some problem or support something that I don't have, a strong working knowledge of, it'll give me some answers. And then I'll say, okay, your first answer, explain to me, teach me why this is likely to work. And it'll walk through it. And then that gives you some frame of knowledge about, well, okay, but that's not actually what my problem is. So what about the second one? Teach me why that might work. And use it to educate you because it's going to do that, but just don't trust it blindly. And I've been employing this ever since I had the thought, and it's so much better. So there you go. That's my advice. Yeah.
Well, and that's it. It's exactly it. I was going to say it's how you use it. And the question could apply to almost any field, not just tech support. Because
100%. Yeah.
I know that in some ways it has made my primary care doctor's job easier, and it's also made her job more difficult. So
That's right. Yeah,
but I come in asking questions that, I've gotten some education about. And of course, we're all doctors here anyway, as you know, Dave, but we go in and
obviously.
So I think it helps us ask better questions in cases like that, be it tech, be it medical, what have you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've also found myself going down rabbit holes with ChatGPT, trying to troubleshoot a problem. And then I've done something like, I don't know if I edited an Etsy host file or something. And now I'm host. I got no way to back out of it. No recollection of having done it and all that sort of thing. And it truly, that was only because we stumbled upon that
Right.
was changed. That it was like, oh, how'd you get there?
Yep.
And you didn't even swear at me, Dave. God bless you.
Well, to be fair, we were texting each other. I was swearing. You just weren't hearing it.
Yeah. Okay. You didn't open your window and say it loud enough.
That's right. But really, just asking. Okay, great. Thank you for the answer. Yeah. Teach me why this will work. And
that is perfect.
It really
that is gold advice.
Well, I noticed that I was already doing this because like you, I will use Dr. ChatGPT at times to, help with like medical-ish things. But I never will just, if it's like, oh, you should take this supplement to fix this. It's like, okay, teach me about, I'm not going to just blindly put things in my body. I mean, it's not like I'm at some Fish concert or something. So, I actually don't do that at Fish concerts either. But
what's the functionality of this? Why does it work like that?
Why am I going to take this? Explain it to me. Yeah. And so I was like, well, if I do this with some things, maybe I should do it with others. Like and it does. It helps a lot. So, yeah. All right. Let's do some cool stuff found before we wrap for a year.
Okay.
Oh, no, we're not going to wrap for a year. Wrap for the year. Very different. Very different.
Year. Wait a minute. Are we? The next show will be out on New Year's Day.
In January.
Yeah.
The next show will be out on January 5th. Is correct. Yeah. Because that's what the Monday is. Yeah. But it will be after New Year's Day. So it'll be 2026. But in the meantime, we're here. So
if you're following the linear timeline, folks,
yeah, it's more fun.
Travel as you need through time and space.
Please, enjoy your time through space. Enjoy your space through time. I don't know.
Well, there's that. So, all right, here we go. Of course, I went back to the other one. I've got it.
Okay, I knew we were vamping for a reason here.
Well, for sleep and stress.
Speaking of sleep and stress, we're going to put somebody to sleep in a minute. I can read this one too.
So, Bob wrote in and he writes this. How's this? I'll take us to it now. After several weeks of sleep apnea, not to be confused. After several weeks of sleep app discussion, I would suggest a deeper look at AutoSleep. It has all the basic info and bases sleep quality on more factors and trends than Apple or possibly any other app. It also reports a stress report that is based on heart rate variability day to day, something that you have discussed, and much, much more with many trend charts, etc. Anyway, my wife and I use it to compare it every day, and it does align well with what we feel. And I have noticed that there are some times when I could predict a cold for sure when we had COVID, and can also see the recovery as the heart rate variability and rates, deep sleep, etc., are affected both negatively with the onset of sickness and positively as we recover. Just another tool for health monitoring. I also use the app Heart Analyzer to monitor health, another useful tool. Blessings, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Yeah.
Huh. All right, great.
That seems like a pretty cool one.
Yeah. We'll put that. Wait, it's come up before. I've never tried AutoSleep, but I feel like I need to. So yeah.
I think I have, and for whatever reason, I don't know why I don't have it. I don't recall anything negative from it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I need to try it out. Yeah. But we'll get there. Yeah. And I will. I posted about this probably late summer, early fall, in our Discord. But I happened to look back at my resting heart rate over the last year, because you can see that in Apple Health. And there's this huge spike in my resting heart rate late June through July. And it's like, oh, right, that's when I was suffering from Lyme disease. I mean, it's like this basically flat graph with this huge spike in the middle of it. It's like, wow. Fascinating to see what your body's going through. Like it's kind of amazing. Yeah. I mean, it didn't diagnose me, obviously, but it's just interesting to correlate these things. See, like, oh yeah, for sure. Look at the body does stuff. Yep. All right. Mac Updater is, as far as I know, still planning on going offline come January 1st. I know that they are looking for someone to take over maintenance of the app and all of that. Also, to my knowledge, they have not sealed any deals for that to happen. So I think come January 1st, and we're recording this on Christmas Eve, as Pete said, so anything can happen in a week. But at this point, based on what we know, Mac Updater will at the very least become a whole lot less useful when the calendar changes years. Jeepster 8675309 in our Discord says there are a few alternatives available. And I recently came across one that looks very promising called Updatist. UPDATEST. He says, I don't know much about Updatist beyond what I've read, and he shared a couple of links, but it might be a solid replacement if nothing else comes up. So Updatist is interesting. It appears to be somewhat open source, and I think it pulls from other sources. So like this actually might do your Homebrew updates for you, Pete.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It pulls from Sparkle.
Knew I needed it.
Yeah, it pulls from Sparkle updates. I think one of the big benefits of Mac Updater is their database, right? Like it knows when there's updates. And part of that database, I think, is built by other Mac Updater users, right? When one of us updates to, 3.07 from 3.06, it pushes that out and it knows, oh yeah, you should look, like there's probably an update. So I don't know where the truth is for this Updatist thing, but it says it works with Homebrew, Mac App Store, Sparkle, Electron, and GitHub releases. So it's looking at those databases. It doesn't seem like it's maintaining its own master database of these things. I'm sure Mac Updater pulls from all of those too, of course. But it doesn't look like it's leveraging the community to build that list. And I believe Mac Updater is. I could be wrong about that, but it always seemed like it to me. So that's one. And then Jeepster 8675309 also mentions one called Latest. And I'm looking to see if I can find that. But searching for Latest... I don't know that my Google Foo is good enough to find an app called Latest, because that's a word. So we will look to see if we can find a link in the show notes, or a link to put in the show notes for that. But we'll certainly put a link for Updatist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Sad to see Mac Updater go.
Yeah.
That's been like that app has been.
It's
crucial.
been wonderfully useful. App. Yeah.
So useful. Yeah, I know. Yep. So, alas, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to go to Dan, or you want me to do Allison?
No, I'm gonna go to Dan. I'm just looking to see if there's anything on the Mac Updater page about how, like, are they coming around? And I don't think. Yeah. It is still gonna die on January 1st. There's nothing, at least on the webpage, that says to the contrary. So, all right, moving on to Dan. Dan has not a cool stuff found, but a cool stuff made. Listener Dan says, I'm the developer of an app called USB Connection Information. It's a Mac app that puts connected USB device speeds right in your menu bar. This is I thought you might want to give it a try. This thing's pretty cool. It's a menu bar item, and when you click on it, it shows you what the speeds are of your connected devices. So it's like, okay, you got this one connected, it's a 10 gig device. You got this connected, it's a 480 megabit per second device, that kind of thing. Obviously, you could see all this information in system information, but this pulls it all together and filters out all the other noise so that you just get to see that. And that's pretty cool. So that's
yeah.
Yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking with it, I think. So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you've gotten to play with it some and got it.
A little bit. Yeah, it works out. It works well. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Well, as we all know, we have a new listener every week, and her name is Allison. God bless her. She's almost as long a show as yours. Close, right? Yeah.
Oh, no, I think she started before.
Oh, she
us,
started
Pete.
before. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, by weeks, I believe, but yes. Still. Yeah.
So Allison writes in, and she always uses this format, which is a great one, actually. The problem to be solved. Finding anything in Mac OS system settings these days is getting harder and harder than ever. Sure, there's a search field, but far too often it doesn't return any results when you know it's in there somewhere. Boy, she speaks the truth there. My solution, I mind mapped all of the system settings for Mac OS 26.1. Better yet, with the help of the amazing Brett Terpstra, who actually wrote a plugin for WordPress just for this project, I put the entire mind map on the web in an SVG, which means you can search the web page and find what you seek. You can download the SVG or download it as a markdown document, an OPM file for outlining programs, or download a comically large and unsearchable PNG. Or a picture of it.
Yeah. Good luck with the picture.
So,
there's a lot to this thing, man. Wow.
Right.
Huh. This is great. Oh, I like this. This is good. Nice work, Allison and Brett. Yeah. Holy cow. Huh. I'm wondering, does this include all of the, like, there are settings that are system specific, right? Like if you don't have a trackpad, that doesn't show up unless you have a trackpad, right? You know, and so I'm like, my guess is that it is full of everything. Wow. Huh. The mind map of doom. I like it. I like it. This is great. All right. Yeah, good stuff. We'll put a link to that in the show notes for sure. Huh.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. I have one to add, Pete, to this week because I love these things. It is the AirNotch Pro Dual from Rolling Square. Our friends over at Rolling Square, they make great cables and things like that. The AirNotch Pro Dual is a Find My tracker. It's also it works with Android too, right? So either network. And it is it has an alarm on it, right? Very loud alarm, in fact. It's powered by 2 CR2032 batteries, so you get almost 2 years of use, and it's $40. But what's cool about it that I like is that it is built to be kind of clipped. It's got its own. It's like an AirTag with its own case, right? So it's built to be clipped onto something or put into something. It's small. It's not much bigger than an AirTag, but it's sort of oval shaped, and it comes with a key ring, so you could put it on your keys, but you could also like hook it onto your backpack so it can sit on the outside if you want, right? To make sure that it's very, very available. So I love these. I know we talk all the time about different form factors of Find My tags, if you will. And the AirNotch Pro Dual, it's, with the replaceable batteries and the dual network support. I love this thing. Yeah. And it's IP68, wind, dust, rain, outdoor resistant, super rugged. It feels rugged in the hand. It's just kind of one of those things that's great. I like it.
I can't tell you how much that tech has saved, me time over the years. How I ever found anything before
I know.
had AirTags.
I know. It's great. Yeah, it's good. All right. We should do this one. It's fun. It's the end of the year.
Right.
Yep. Soccer Hallways has a cool stuff found for us that hopefully brings lots of us back. The Flying Toasters Screensaver is back. Greg Grant has remade and updated the Flying Toasters Screensaver for modern Mac OS, and sure enough, it's out there. It exists. You can download it and install it in your Mac, and then you get flying toasters, and you can set the number of toasters and how much toast and how fast they go and how fast they flap. You can even go into 3D mode and all of that good stuff. So if you remember flying toasters from the After Dark days, I'm pretty sure that was part of After Dark, right?
That's my recollection. Yeah.
Yeah, was it? Maybe it wasn't After Dark. I thought it was. I don't think the flying toasters was its own thing. I'm pretty sure After Dark was from Berkeley Systems.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the toasters were part of After Dark. Yeah.
After Berkeley Systems, in 1989 for the Apple Macintosh and 91 for Windows.
Yeah. Okay. But now you can have it for your Mac. So enjoy your flying toasters, folks, and thank you, Soccer Hallways, for sharing that with everybody. Good stuff. Yeah.
For those who want to know, it was originally done in assembly language and C by Jack Eastman and Patrick Beard. Now you know way more about flying toasters than you ever wanted to.
I don't know, but having them on your screen will help you know more.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody's this time of year. You got people who celebrate Christmas. We put the Yule log on our screens. You can put the flying toasters on your screen any time of year, folks. You don't have to wait. The season for flying toasters is every season.
'Tis the season.
It's always the season. 'Tis always the season. That's right.
And we may have just gotten our show title at the very last.
Always the season. It is. It's true. All right. Are we finished here? Have we hit the end of our ropes?
This is the end, my friend. Do you want that last one or not? Next week?
It doesn't matter. You want to do another one? I'm
sure.
here. I got nothing to do.
We'll close out the year by cheating, as it were, with the cheat sheet to see all your keyboard shortcuts. DJ Mac writes in a recent MGG episode, Adam was trying to find where the Shift-Command-T keyboard combination was located in Safari. This reminded me of a free tool I found that allows you to hit and hold the command key, and a pop-up window will show all of the shortcut key assignments for the app that has the focus. Even if the shortcut key combo was created in an automation or a shortcut or some otherwhere when Pilot Pete wasn't paying attention and it came back. Oh, sorry, went down another road. And assigned the keyboard shortcut services. Unfortunately, it will not show keyboard shortcuts assigned as triggers in apps like Keyboard Maestro, which kind of makes sense. That's well hidden under the hood. The tool is Cheat Sheet. It's very handy for finding if a key combination is already taken in an app that you're working on, a workflow or a macro, or for trying to decide what key combo to use as a trigger if you're trying to make one. And we'll put the link in the show notes for Cheat Sheet. And thus endeth the year on a cheat.
That's it. We end the year by cheating. I like that. That's a good way to end the year. Yeah, why not?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Sure.
It's an aviation saying.
I get that. Yeah.
That's how you get through flight school. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
All right, that's fair. That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't school meant to teach you where you can take shortcuts and where you can't?
Right.
I mean, to me, that's the meta lesson of education is like, well, you don't have to learn everything, but you have to learn some things.
And you have to know where to find what you need to know.
That's it. Right. And so it's like, where are the shortcuts? I don't, sure. Yeah, I like that. That's what we do here all the time. Yeah, it's good. Thanks for hanging out for us. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. Thanks for a great year. Yeah, fantastic. We hit our 20th anniversary this year. Like, this is a big year.
Right.
It's good. Yeah.
Well into our 21st year. Closer to 21 than 20 now.
That is true. Ever since December 13th. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's right. We are coming in on our 21st year. The show can drink soon. So that's good. Thanks to CashFly for providing all the bandwidth to get the show from us to you. Thanks to all of our premium supporters and subscribers, which you can learn more about at macgeekgab.com/premium. If you missed Adam this week, you can, of course, always go listen to his debut film podcast. If you want more of Pete, his So There I Was podcast is there for you. If you want more of me, Business Brain and Geek Gab are there for you. We got some fun ones coming up. We have Richie Castellano from Band Geeks coming up in a couple weeks on Geek Gab. That was a fun chat to have. He's a smart dude. Thanks for hanging out with us. So I have several things to say, Pete. One of them, three-word phrases, right? Thank you all is one, of course. Happy New Year, right? That's coming up.
Sure.
Yep. What are other
Merry Christmas? Oh, that's
Merry
already happened.
Christmas. Yeah, it's already happened by the time the show comes out, but not quite yet. That's right. Yep. Happy Thursday if you don't celebrate Christmas. That's fine. I'm trying to think of what else we might say. Gosh, you got any other three-word?
Pick me.
Oh, Pete, what do you have there? Your shirt. What does it say?
Don't get caught.
Oh, what a good one. Yeah. I got to remember that. Remind me of that again sometime, Pete. Remind me of that next year, would you?
Do it.
Later.
See ya.